Hey, welcome to Morning Manna. I'm Anna Wiggins, and this week we're looking at 6 lessons from the life of John the Baptist. Yesterday, we saw John walk out his purpose to prepare the way for Jesus with boldness and confidence. Today, let's look at the way he lived out his identity. In John chapter 3, we see that Jesus has been ministering in the Judean countryside. It says that he's baptizing people, or people are being baptized there, and he's gathering followers. And John is also still ministering. He's still preparing the way for Jesus, calling people to repentance. And when more people begin following Jesus than are following John's disciples have a conversation about this. And they say to John, it says, "And they came to John and said, 'Rabbi, he who was with you across the Jordan, to whom you bore witness,'" he's talking about Jesus here, he said, "Look, he's baptizing and all are going to him." Saying, hey, John, Rabbi, you're our guy. We've been following you. Lots of people have been following us, but now that Jesus is on the scene, more people are beginning to follow him. And it sounds like they're a little distraught about this and not exactly sure how they're supposed to respond. And this was one of those moments that was for me, because John's response was this. He said, "A person cannot receive even one thing unless it is given to him from heaven. You yourselves bear witness that I said, 'I am not the Christ, but I have been sent before him.'" This is really interesting. John doesn't just know who he is, he also knows who he isn't. He knows that he's called to prepare the way for the Messiah, but he knows that's not who he is. He goes on to say, "The one who has the bride is the bridegroom. The friend of the bridegroom who stands and hears him rejoices greatly at the bridegroom's voice. Therefore, this joy of mine is now complete. He must increase, but I must decrease." It was vital for John to know what his purpose was and who he was. And it was also really important for him to know who he wasn't, so that when Jesus came onto the scene and began to do what Jesus, the Messiah, was here to do, John wasn't insecure, he wasn't caught up in jealousy, and he was able to instruct his disciples, hey, the whole reason we are here, it's to point to Jesus. It's to point people to him. It's not about us. It's all about him. And I began to think about that and apply that to my life. Man, when Jesus begins to move, no matter what that means for me, I need to rejoice. If he's using somebody else, I need to rejoice that he's using them. My job is to point to him, and his job is to change lives. He gets all the glory. Everything about our lives is designed to glorify him. When we can rest in that, we can be confident no matter what's going on, no matter who God uses, no matter how he uses us. We can be confident that Jesus is being glorified in our lives. I'll see you again tomorrow.